So let me tell you what this guy's trying to tell me before we go live. This guy's sitting here like, yeah, we can talk about Dreamscom and Dreamscom. And I'm like, yeah, all right. And he's like, what, you don't like Dreamscom? And I'm like, that's not what I was saying, man. Like, my life is real busy right now. And all these ideas that you're having for this booth, God knowing we going to get rejected anyway because our thermo's probably going to be off. The audio percentage is going to be off. Gameplay's going to be off.
I will have you know, I have got gameplay and the graphics, the thermo, down to 10%. It's done. It's good to go. All we need is some audio on there because we are the Made in Dreams podcast. Our thing is we talk. So we kind of need that incorporated in the booth. You know? It kind of makes sense that when you walk in the booth, you and I are talking.
And I never said that I wasn't going to do the lines. I said that while my schedule has been super busy, it's just something else on top of that busy schedule. And you want to jump to it like I'm sitting here being like, blow up Dreamscom. We don't need it. Like that. I didn't say any of that stuff. I didn't say any of that.
You're making it a bigger deal. It's so simple. All we do is talk for like 10, 15 seconds. That'll be enough.
Yeah, we're gonna. Yeah, by the time we're done, by the time we're done, you're gonna have a full script set up for it, and then that's gonna mean more work for me because I'm gonna have to rewrite the script, and then it's gonna be like,
you're gonna have to rewrite the script, okay.
guys. We know where the production comes from. Come on, come on. Let's be real. Let's not get ahead of ourselves right now. Yeah, I'm just saying. All right. Well. Anyway. Welcome to the season 2 finale of the Made in Dreams podcast. It will be the last time, I believe, that we will have a season for starters. So bow right out of the gate. We're in your face with changes. But I just wanted to spend today just us, mostly me. No, I'm just playing. Man,
you are on one today.
You're on one today. Oh. Bruv! I got hit with the bruv.
Don't even go there, mate. Seriously, like, I'm telling you now.
Okay, well, look. We're just going to spend some time talking with everybody about all the stuff we're, looking to change, things we may not change depending on what y'all say. We want to have more back and forth with the community, but we also just kind of want to Pebbles, the topic of dreams right now. Yeah, I've read a couple of comments on Twitter about Pebbles. And so what is with the Pebbles?
Tom started it, and then obviously it's cascaded from there. He basically just uploaded a picture of a pebble, and now like the whole community is posting their favorite pebble on Twitter, and I think it's amazing, and we need to see more of this type of content on Twitter. It's very entertaining.
Okay. No, it started with the Dreamscom teaser. Oh, look at this.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Pebbles was on the laptop, I believe, on the teaser with the stickers.
So obviously, this is the next iteration. Like, you have iterations of operating systems. So maybe it's not Dreams Plus, but maybe this is the next iteration of the Bubble Bath. It's Bubble Bath Pebbles.
I like where you're going with that.
These are theories?
Yeah.
So, either that or they're just going to give us more actual, assets, which I have no problem with. If they gave us more, ground assets and stuff. Let's see. MC Alchemist is all over this, though.
I know. He has been watching everything.
Something is afoot.
Plus stands for Pebbles.
Jesus had 2 arms and 12 disciples, the number 24. No. So, but look. So today we wanted to just go over some things, and we also wanted to give a call to action to the community to help us. But we'll get to that. We will get to that. So we decided to come up with questions to ask each other, and to just get a feel for what we've done so far. And feel free to answer these in the chat as well, because I'm really going to be scouring over this episode just to really look at what everyone's saying after the fact, so I can gauge what we're going to do when we come back with the show. So first and foremost, I guess I want to start with something simple, Jamie. Like, what has this experience, the experience of this show, the Made in Dreams podcast, what has it been like for you?
It's been so much better than what I originally anticipated it to be. I expected we'd have a couple of listeners or viewers here and there, and would have some messages come through once every couple of episodes and people engaging, but it was completely turned upside down. We always have people on, people are really engaging in the chat, we have inside jokes, and it's just been so cool to have this space to come to every Friday and just chat with all these people about the thing that we love the most, which is dreams. And I have a very stressful life. Work is very stressful, and it's just nice to say I have that one thing to look forward to speak to this community on a personal level about something amazing. And it's just, yeah, I absolutely love it, and I really did not expect for it to turn out the way it has.
I mean, I have to second that, because there are few people who are still with me from the beginning of my journey on Twitch, and I never really cared about having more than like 3 people on an episode, because that was what I was used to. It's like I jump on and use Twitch to talk to myself, even if no one's there. I just use it to talk and get my mind right, because like you said, like, work is stressful. Like, trying to get through all this stuff is stressful, and Dreams as a platform gave me the ability to finally work on things that I have always wanted to work on. And it really, like, when we first approached each other regarding this, this podcast, like, yeah, do you want to start a podcast? And then we started working on names, and then we started putting it just everything surrounding Dreams has been a delight. And I've never been, if one would consider me part of the community, I've never been part of a community like this. And so it's refreshing to know that, and to see hard work pay off. Like, one of the things, and I don't want to get too, life heavy, but the last couple of years I've been paying attention to all the things they used to tell us when we were kids, at least in the United States. And I've been judging things as to whether or not they're true. And one of those things was like hard work paying off. Like, I'd never seen hard work pay off before in my entire life. Until Dreams. Until I was able to make this podcast, put in all the work that we put in to make it look professional, to, organize and put together every episode, and, looking through the Dreamiverse and meeting with different people and communicating. Like, that's all, like, it is work. But yeah, like, I've never known hard work to pay off in my life, to the point where my hard work, I was working so hard that it literally almost took my life. And, and I still didn't see benefit from working that hard. But with this podcast and with the people I've met, it's been, how would you say? It's been refreshing for someone like me. And so I guess to answer that same question, it's just everything about this has been eye-opening for me. And I mean that really deep down. Like, on a structural, my mental health within this world, it has been really eye-opening for me. So,
well,
that's
like for me, like I've never done streaming before. I've never done any Twitch before we did this. So this was a complete new ball game for me. And I've seen people that have tried to do Twitch and they just say, oh, people are toxic. You just have people spamming you with nasty messages and calling you names and all that stuff. And, I always thought Twitch was a very toxic place, but because it streams, it just makes it so much different because the community is just so welcoming towards anything Dreams related. So it's completely because of the community what I feel this has worked so well. And what I would call a successful podcast is because of the type of community that Dreams has revolved around. And, without those guys, we wouldn't even have a podcast to do.
Yeah, I mean, as MC Alchemist said in chat, it's the Dreams community just wholesome AF. We're spoiled, and we are, and it's something
Truly.
I've been looking for a long time. So I can't speak enough niceties about
niceties.
About all of this. It's just people may have thoughts about me as a person who like how I work and stuff, but I am thankful for every single person that gives us the ability to talk to them. Like it's this show is why I don't like Comic-Cons or stuff like that. Like, let me explain. Like, for me, I've never been interested in meeting famous people in the realm in which they're famous. Like, I don't see the point of going to a Comic-Con unless I could say, sit down with Robert Downey Jr. and have a glass of scotch and just talk about his career, or grab anyone. And that's kind of the thing, is like, I feel it's a waste of time because I don't want to idolize people. I want to get to know them. And so that's kind of the philosophy that I brought with me into this show, was just, I see all of these amazing creators, devs, filmmakers, like artists, just truly humbling just to meet all of them. And I actually get to sit down and just pick their brain, find out who they are as people, and what, I guess you would say, like, what experiences they had that led them to what they're creating now, what they're spending their time on now. And that's, that's just, it's amazing. It's something I can't get over every week. And,
I agree. I mean, like, just thinking about it, like, looking back, we haven't had time to actually do a solo episode because people are so welcoming to the show. You reach out to people saying, hey, would you like to come on the show? And they're like, yeah, I'd love to come on and talk about Dreams. Like, we genuinely haven't had the chance to do a solo episode because there is so many people out there that just love talking about their creativity that we haven't even had the chance to do it. And that is just so amazing to think that we have this absolute pile of people that just want to sit and talk about their creative passion. I can't wrap my head around that there's just that many people that want to sit and just talk about Dreams and what they've made and what they want to make and how it's inspired them and their life stories. I just haven't experienced anything like that where people are so open before.
Yeah. And it's beautiful. It really is.
Yeah.
It's the lifeblood for someone like me. It's just, I'm interested in people, not in fame or anything. Like, I mean, about my current situation where my wife's sister is living with us now, and she is enthralled with celebrities. Like, oh my God, I can't believe Henry Cavill did blah, or oh my God, did you hear what this person did? I'm just like, I don't care. Next time they're in a movie, let me know. I'll see how they're doing. Like, that's, but yeah. So, I mean, did you want to pop off one of your questions next?
Yeah,
or do you? Okay.
Yeah, well, seeming as my questions are very limited because I've been so busy today, since starting this podcast, we both came into this podcast as kind of Dreams novices. You more experienced than me, and we're not going to discuss that. But like, since joining this podcast and starting this, I feel like we have both grown quite a bit within Dreams itself, because we've had the opportunity to sit and talk to these people in depth about their creations and their techniques and styles. What would you say you have grown the most in within Dreams since starting the show?
I would have to say in my sculpting, but more so just the overall mentality of approaching dreams. Like, you know, given my backstory in Dreams, which I've gone over way too many times through 2 seasons now, like I was very closed off. Like, even to the point where, you know, in my mind, it was like I have to build every piece of what I'm doing, or like it's not mine. It's not, I can't say it's my creation. And, you know, and that weight, like I would work through it, but it would literally crush me. And it would slow down my process exponentially as far as just getting out there and creating something. And, you know, I've never taken part in any of the, you know, challenges or anything like that until we started talking to people. And then I was, you know, Keld did his Dreams Flicks thing. And I was like, you know, there's other people's assets and you have to use them, as well as add 1 or 2 of your own. And then you just go and create whatever you create, bugs and all, or, you know, however it looks cool. And doing that allowed me to just kind of have fun. And so for me, Dreams was the way for me to, like I said, do the things I could never do again. But like I had been held back for so long that when I got it, I kind of approached it as in, I got to do it all. This is my chance to do it all. And it's like, you know, I really sat back, you know, really like 2 months ago. And I was like, you know, your main thing, like you speaking to myself now, I do a lot of things. But if you look at movies, it's not one guy. It takes a village. It takes a small town.
Village.
Yeah, it takes a village to make the dream come true. To like put your idea onto like in front of people. And when I started thinking about it, not as necessarily just an artist or just a musician or just a voice actor or, you know, a sculptor, and I just started thinking of, like, I guess how to approach it and like how to plan for it and how to think of it on a like take the edge off of my creation process. That like that's what I've gotten better at. Like I would say just sculpting to be, you know, basic, but really it's just the change in my mindset from finally having a community that is willing to grow together and work together. And that's beyond anything I could, how would I put it? That's beyond what I thought I would be getting. Because I always used to tell people, like, to get into film, like to actually get into film and complete a film, I always like kind of was jealous of when you hear people's backstories, like J.J. Abrams. Like J.J. Abrams, not only did he have into film, but like once he got in, he also like there was like a group of actors that came with him from previous things. Like he had a crew, and no matter what, I could never create that crew, that group of people that would just be down to do like to really group together and really shoot for a vision. And so like I always loved movies, again, like J.J. Abrams, Super 8, where it's just like you see the kids and it's this group of kids that are down for whatever and they're making a movie no matter how bad it looks, how horrible it may turn out, you know, they love it and they're trying to do it, but you have to have that in real life to get things done. And that's what Dreams gave to me. And so it's more than I ever thought. So just the change in mindset is really what has grown the most about me in Dreams.
I think things like Dreamflix has really helped you as well as a person, because you was so separated in the mindset of everything has to be made by myself. The fact that the rules of that particular jam were that you have to use the assets from other people participating in it kind of forced you out of that mindset and kind of broke that wall down for you, so that you have to use these things, and it slowly made you more acceptant of using assets, and now you're able to create stuff a lot more faster because of that.
Yeah.
And I think jams like that, especially like the jams is great and all, but I think the jams that the community set themselves are absolutely crucial to Dreams, because sometimes they're very specific. Like the jam that Kataya does, I can't remember the specific name of it, but where you have to make like a boring item or something. I think jams like that are very important, because it really gets you out of your comfort zone and getting you doing something that you necessarily wouldn't do, and that in turn makes you a better creator.
Yeah, his asset jam is definitely it. Unexcited asset jam. Thank you,
There you
MC
go.
Alchemist.
Thank you, Alchemist. He's on top form today.
Yeah, he really is, really is. Which is why I have a shout out for him earlier or later in the show. but yeah, and so I guess let's go into the next one. What's your favorite season 2 highlight outside of speaking with Abby and Tom and the roundtables, of course?
Oh boy. Yeah, I know you sent me these questions beforehand, but I never had time to really look through them, so now I feel like I'm being put totally on the spot, even though I'm not. Damn, what would I pick?
Just highlights. What's something you really...
I don't know. I found it absolutely hilarious that my internet died when we had Aphrodite on. I had to laugh at myself. I was like, of all times for my internet to go down is like 10 minutes into the show. Even though it's not a highlight, I still find it absolutely hilarious. Like the timing of my British internet is just impeccable. Spicy says the return of the lotion lobby. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh boy. I mean, I know it sounds super cheesy, but everything's a highlight. Like, I love every guest that comes on the show, because each person brings something completely different to the table. Everybody's had different life experiences, and everybody is creating something completely different. Some people are making music, some people are making games, some people are just making art. So it's just so cool just to get the different aspects. But I mean, I really did enjoy Lee's lady. I really enjoyed that chat. Her life experience and how that's being incorporated into a survival game is really nice, and I love it when people put their life experiences as inspiration for something, and it just seems to make it a lot more sensitive and a lot more I don't know, I love things like that. I really did enjoy that episode last week.
Indeed. I would say like you said, everyone we have spoken to has done something that has blown my mind. Every single one of them. And so that's why I said favorite highlights as opposed to like, being like, well, I really liked when Scott was on here and he was telling us stuff, F everybody else. Like we weren't, not trying to do that. But like, I would say for me, it was just, it was probably just the people we've spoken with that have access to deeper insight in enthusiasm. Like we got to speak with Philippe Duarte Pina, him telling us about the struggle of getting the games launched and everything like that. And and Magma Monster's positive point of view. And, and then you have, Avender, who also kind of helped me also in that point I was making on the last question where, he made this super story-driven story-driven and cinematic horror game. And it was just, that kind of broke me out of film a little bit, and was like, hey, maybe you should do game, like work on a game. Like you could pull off something cinematic as well, but have it not be a short film, Of course, I'm still trying to go for short films, but it's just that, but like that, and, SZ738 or Scott, him telling us, like showing, like being a secret to everyone in Dreams.
Yeah.
And nobody really knowing what he was doing. And then I find him and show his stuff. And it's like, that's the only guy that overall, in my opinion, is just like, I don't know. It's, how would you put it? Right. As I said, the final boss of Dreams is Martin Nebelong. And we've been trying like hell to get him on the show.
Oh, boy. And Robo.
And Bad Robo. And I feel like Scott is there because he's actually working in the industry as well, like creating games with Dreams in 24 hours that's going to be in a TV show.
Just crazy.
Like the moments like that. There's been highs, lows, I like having of course Lee's and Deity and Shane Marshall from Modi, Son of Thor, like, representation is always a big thing for me. So like having them on the podcast meant a lot personally to me, for many reasons, a lot of them very obvious, if you know who I'm speaking about. But yeah, like that's kind of it, I guess.
But,
so
another thing is like, is not that we're anything special or people getting a great exposure from doing the show. It's not about that, but like just the ability to give people a spotlight to like show the stuff in a different way, like with Scott, for instance. SZ738. I don't know. Like it's just he wasn't very active on Twitter, so not a lot of people saw his stuff, and that's pretty much where Dreams is right now. Is you go to Twitter to sort of see everything. So the fact that we had the ability to give this guy a place to really shine and show the community what he's about and, get people knowing who he is so they start to follow him and look for his work is something that I also find really, really humbling and exciting about this show, that we have this space to do that for people. Like, I really like that.
Yeah. So I guess you got next question, bro.
All right. So you're a film buff. You like movies. You seem to know quite a lot about them.
I'm very confident in saying that I have seen more movies than 99.5% of all of the people on Earth.
Wow. Okay,
I'm
then.
very confident in saying it.
Right. I don't think you'll have any issue answering this question then. So if you could pick any director ever, dead or alive, makes no difference, to come onto Dreams with a team of people and direct a movie to be made fully in Dreams, who would you pick and why?
The Wachowskis, for starters.
Oh, such a good choice. All right, what would they make? Take me through it.
Well, I'll leave it up to them to for what they would make, because I don't want to pitch. I trust them. Unlike most creators, like, it's a spotty bag. Nobody's batting 1,000. But for me personally, the Wachowskis are. I trust that whatever they do is going to be. It's going to be one, super creative, even maybe more creative than people are used to seeing, and therefore they get crapped on for it. Or it's just going to be so well told. Nothing about it is going to be basic. And that's what I love about them. So, I mean, I would expect that they would probably do something sci-fi based. And so like that's as far as I'd say. Like that would be why, because they have shown that they take inspiration from so many different aspects of life. Like, that's what made The Matrix blow people away, was because it was the first time for a lot of people that they had seen that sort of like Asian influenced really wire work done in that way. Also, they were willing to come up with a whole new way of filming things. And so, like, I'd love to see what they would be able to do with not only what they would try to create in Dreams, but also, like, what uses they would make of things that are already created in Dreams. I can't remember, what is his name? He won't come on the show, unfortunately. But there's a creator. He has a YouTube. I'll try to remember. It's like Giorgio or something. But he has a YouTube where he takes his Dreams creations and puts them into actual camera, like footage. And he did it with he did it with some mechs that he made, and he did it with like a spaceship that he made. And it's just like, he's doing that, and it's amazing. So it's like, what would they do with it? Yeah. And so that's why I would pick. The only other person which would seem really weird is probably Wayne Kramer.
Okay. Why?
Because he tells down-to-earth stories with unconventional scenes. And I think he would just marry into Dreams, like, flawlessly. And, I mean, I don't know if there's a movie called Running Scared, and I'm not talking about the one with Billy Crystal and Gregory Hines from, like, the early 80s. It was with Paul Walker, rest in peace. And it was just a noir that was just so strange. Like, it was a normal story until you got to certain things, and it almost became like a fairy tale. And the scenes that he chose to depict things, like a kid being in a bathroom, and this is going to sound weird, but there's a kid in the bathroom, and he's been basically picked up because he's on the street alone. He's been picked up by these two people with a strange apartment, and they're basically like child killers. And he's like, he realizes something's really wrong. He's like, can I go to the bathroom? And he goes to the bathroom, and while he's in the bathroom, the walls are all white, but they're also see-through. So the shadows of these two parents are like demons. They have like demonic shadows moving across the background. And it's just like, it's really quick. And I could honestly think somebody would watch it and be like, oh, what, before their mind could catch up with it, they wouldn't know what happened. But it's like little things like that, or things that I have goosebumps. Like, little things like that truly excite me. So, like, unconventional filmmaking and being able to pull in inspiration from things that most people don't. That, like, that's what would make this a director flourish in Dreams to me. So what about you? Who would you pick?
It would be a toss-up between M. Night Shyamalan and, I can't remember his name, but the guy that did Kill Bill.
Quentin Tarantino?
That's the one. I can't say it. I love Kill Bill so much. I think it's such a unique movie. I just love the way that it's filmed. I like how it's set. I don't know, there's just something special about Kill Bill to me, and I think that type of style would work so well in Dreams. Like, you could really pull that style off in Dreams, and I would love to see what he would do with it. It would be crazy, because he's just such a creative person when it comes to how things is filmed. I think you'd have a ball with Kill Bill in Dreams.
I think
any other film for that matter.
And I think, because MC Alchemist asked, what's the best Tarantino? And nobody will agree with me. It's Hateful Eight. And I know people. The reason. Let me go through, because I'll go through and say why. Okay. Because one, what I loved about Kill Bill, they pulled off almost everything, but it's because of the deleted scene on Kill Bill 2 that I can't give it the title. I can't say it's his best. The deleted scene, the deleted scene was the most perfect scene shot for Kill Bill.
I have not seen this scene, so you need to talk me through it.
Okay, it's a scene where Kiddo and Bill are walking through basically an Asian market.
Okay.
And Michael Jai White, if you know the martial artist Michael Jai White, he played Spawn back in the 90s movie. He's trained out of his mind. He's like beyond belts in like 6 different martial arts. He plays the guy that he confronts Bill. And he's like, "You killed my master." And they have the audio so that it's like badly dubbed, just like the old school martial arts films.
Yeah.
And he's like, "You killed my master, Domu." and it goes through this perfect rendition because this is what Quentin Tarantino is good at. And I say this because I believe he said it himself, but I couldn't just be like, "Hey, look up the interview of him during blah, 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 blah." But he's a person like me where he has seen so many movies. Like if someone, he's one of the only people that I feel like if he was like, "I've watched more movies than you," I'd be like, "Yeah, you have." But he's watched everything, and that he's good at doing existing styles perfectly. He's like he like mimics. So it's like if you need a movie that's like an old school kung fu movie, Kill Bill is full of all the tropes that made old school, movies like Django and Hateful Eight. It's like westerns. Like he can nail it. The 70s bank heist movie, if you want to go back to Reservoir Dogs, there's always something that you can tie his film directly back to. And so I say that saying that a lot of times you have Pulp Fiction, MC Alchemist. It's a good pick. I don't think there's a wrong answer to this. I just think there's movies that speak the most.
So many great ones.
There's just movies that one of his movies that speaks the most to you. And I loved Hateful Eight because one of the things that I love the most in filmmaking, and it's the hardest film to make, is the single location film. It's the film that takes place 80% in one location, and that's all you have. That means your dialogue has to be perfect and engaging. It means your characters have to be thoroughly fleshed out. And basically, it has to be a perfect story. That's why one of my favorite movies is Sidney Lumet's 12 Angry Men, where it's a movie about 12 jurors who have to deliberate on a case, and the whole movie takes place the whole movie except for basically the very end takes place in this one room with 12 people talking the entire time. And how do you keep that interesting? Like, you have to be on top of it. So that's what I would say. That's what I would say for Quentin Tarantino. For me, it checks one of the boxes for one of my favorite types of films to watch because it's the hardest to pull off. And everybody in that movie, even the cameo, the acting was so perfect for the style of film he was making. There's always something else in every other film of his that while I love them, I'm always like, there was that thing.
So close.
Yeah, like Django. Django was a perfect place for him to have really good stylized action. But the only time you got that stylized action was one shot. It was like one shot. It literally lasted like 2 seconds max. And that was the only time you got his stylized form of action in it. Everything else about it is fantastic. The movie itself is brilliant. But that was the one thing when I heard about the movie, I was like, I can't wait to see how he's going to do his stylized action in a Western. And I got more of it in Hateful Eight than I did Django. But Django was good. Some would say great. Others would say amazing. So that's what I would say. But let's get back purely to dreams, I guess.
Yeah. You see, I knew this question was going to be one of those where it's going to go completely off topic with you because you're just such a film buff. You just can't help yourself, and you have to go in. You have to go into it.
I have to. There's no way I cannot speak super passionately and break down everything about film. So look, let's move on. Let's try to get away from it because I will turn this whole episode into a movie talk.
Oh no, Spicy say get this, Tenet, but in dreams.
I'm willing to see it. At least I know audio. At least the audio mix will be right, and I can actually hear people.
Yeah, I would watch it. It might be better than the original. Correction, it will be better than the original because it was made in dreams.
Fighting words. Fighting words. So
right, next question. Come on.
We got to get away from movies. Yeah, we got like I for those that don't know, if you go back on my YouTube channel, like there are tons of videos of me just doing reviews for movies and stuff, as well as like a lot of my old podcasts centered around movies. So if you ever want to talk movies with me, I am more than ready and willing. I will go live at 1 a.m. in the morning to talk movies. So, but look, get away from it. We got to get away from it. So, like when we first started the show, we started it because we wanted to shine more light on Media Molecule and Dreams, as we've talked about many times, as far as some of our gripes with marketing and stuff like that. But we really we had this love. We wanted to see where it would grow, where it developed. Like we see a future. We, as people who aren't building it or have nothing to do with the development
in it at all.
Like we see a future for Dreams. And I guess that was our love leading us into making this podcast. But what's our next step? Like where are we going? Where are we trying to get?
I don't know. I mean, there's so many different avenues we could take this podcast, and I think we should definitely try to explore other avenues and try and, expand who we have on the show and what we talk about. Like, still bring it all back around to Dreams, but not necessarily entirely 100% only Dream stuff, if that makes sense. Like, I really love when we got Philippe on the show to talk about game development, because that was fantastic, because it gave us an inside look into the actual industry, and we can tie that back to Dreams. I would love to get more developers from other studios on the show to talk about their experiences of how they got into the industry, why they got into the industry, and what it's like to actually make a game in a studio with hundreds of other people. And that can still be tied back into Dreams because it is a development engine. And I think it'd be really cool to get more people like that on the show, because it just gives us a wider look at everything as a whole and not just of what happens in Dreams, because it's so relatable. I'd love to get musicians on the show. I'd love to get filmmakers on the show, people that haven't even used Dreams, just people in the industry, because we've got people in Dreams that are trying to make film, that are trying to make music, that have not necessarily done it before, and those experiences of people that have done it will relate back to Dreams because it's all the same thing. So that's what I would like to do, is get more people outside of Dreams on the show to talk about the stuff that you can do in Dreams.
Yeah, and like we have talked about that, because what I want is for us to embed ourselves in Sony, like as far as possible. I want to, like you said, want to speak with more game developers from the PlayStation studios. I want deeper entanglement with Media Molecule. I want to become another, megaphone that they can use to communicate with the community in an official or unofficial capacity. Like, I don't know. I don't want to just convey things that could be better in Dreams. I want to be a part of the solution to those things, like however I can. And as far as like reaching out to more people, I told y'all last week, like I'm already doing it. Like I'm trying to reach out to people. I've already reached out to Insomniac Games. I've reached out to the voice actor Kevin Conroy, who did Batman who has played Batman for years, but in most notably in the animated series. I reached out to let me see what's his name. Adetokunbo McCormick, who played Isaac in the recent Castlevania show on Netflix. You know, and I'm making headway on a few others that I kind of want to keep close to the chest right now. But yeah, I'm already like trying to just dig as deep as I can into as many studios as I can to get to be able to and other people, you know, voice actors, animators, everything to just help spread dreams, but also to make this a Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, anything and anybody that is relatable to dreams in one shape or form, I want them on.
Yeah.
Anything at all, even coders, like, you know, that can help with logic. To have an understanding of code in its raw format will make you understand the logic in dreams better because it's all relatable.
Of course, you stopped talking while I'm drinking water. So I guess
it went mute. I thought it was my headphones. I thought they died.
Wow. That would be on brand, but no.
It really would.
So like that, I mean, but yeah, that's what I want to do. I want, like, I'm not trying to sell out, if you will, but I want to be in touch with Sony. Like when if they have a developer that's coming out with a game, I want them to be like, oh, well, we have this podcast that we partnered with that we can send you to do a thing, and we'll talk about game development, and we'll also do a promo for their game. Like, I'm willing to go that far. I want to be embedded so that I can access as many people that we can to make them resources for the Dreams community.
Yeah.
So
no, I totally agree.
So,
and I think that we should make it a life goal to get Kareem on the show. And it needs to be like a 6-hour special.
That has always been our life goal. Like, the moment he's back on the radar, we're on him. Like, I mean, everybody we've spoken to. As soon as he pops up. Yeah. Everybody we've spoken to knows we're looking for him. We sent Abby back. Basically being like, where's Kareem? Now we sent Tom back. Now we sent Tom back and like, where's Kareem? Like, we're getting there. We will have Kareem on here one day. One day. I told you. Go ahead.
And Siaban. We need Siaban on as well.
Because, we're getting all of them.
We need every single one of them. Like, every single media molecule needs to come on this show and have their say.
Exactly. I told y'all before when we had Tom on, we started pitching the idea to him of having the media molecule roundtable. Like, I want them to have as many people as they have, and we'll fill up this screen with just faces. We won't need borders or anything. It'll just be faces.
It'll just be a mosaic. Just a live mosaic. It'll be beautiful.
Yeah. So let's get to, I guess, the title of the show. Like, there are things that can be added to the show. What are we adding? And if you're in chat, what would you like to see added? Because this is your time to tell us.
Yeah, Alchemist says, get Herman Holst on the show. That would be good, actually. I'd love to get Herman on the show.
Yeah.
I'd love it.
I'll start working on it.
But no, I just think it's great to just have all of these people that are in the industry on the show to just give us a completely different look and aspect on things. Like crunch time. I'd love for someone to sit and actually explain, you know, their experience with crunch and how it affects them and what they have to do in crunch and just all the stuff that you don't necessarily see within game development that's sort of hidden behind the closed doors unless you work there. I want to see it all because it's so relatable. especially like release dates. Like, we've seen loads of people, including ourselves, put a release date out for a game, and then, they've had to tweet out and say, oh yeah, no, it's not happening now, because they've realized how difficult it is to develop something. I'd love to get all that inside information and just speak about it in full. I think it'd be amazing.
Yeah. And to get they probably, if somebody wants to complain, if somebody needs an outlet, if someone needs an outlet and just wants to let it rip, this is where we want them to do it. Like, that's the bottom line. Bottom line. So, like, I've personally stayed away from doing, like I said, community jams and let's play shows, or, coming up with a challenge for the for the podcast. Because I feel like, as we've already talked about some of them, like almost every other Dream streamer has that handled. Like, we had that instance where the person came in and was like, do you play creations? Like, do you take suggestions? And, I felt bad for like turning them away in the end. But there are people who do that and they do it better than us. That doesn't benefit necessarily our strong suits. But, All-Star, Kelbiones, shout out to everybody. But I do want to find a way to be more interactive with the community. And I'm not sure what that is. Like, I started looking into what I would have to do to set it up so we could take phone calls. So, we could take calls on the show.
Yeah, that would be good.
So, talked about doing that, but setting it up and getting somebody who's trustworthy to actually run that for us, because I have so many settings here, guys. There's no way I'm paying attention to that as well. So I'd have to have somebody that's organizing people that will be able to come in, give them access one by one to a channel, and they could ask questions or ask our guest questions or something like that, where we can kind of open it up to more people to interact with our guests than just us, because this is community first. Gizmo. And so, yeah. And then, I have like 4 other podcasts being worked on right now. And
you do a lot of podcasting.
Yes. And I don't know, like, I feel like there needs to be one like Solo Imp, but just something I can do to jump on and just interact with people outside of the show, outside of our format. Like, I feel like I need to stream more, maybe. So, and I guess this is the perfect time to ask people. Like, we've said it a few times this episode already, but we're thinking of doing away with seasons because it's a podcast. And I think it would be better and easier for us to celebrate certain milestones with the podcast if we just follow the normal flow of things. Like, if you're having season 2 or season 3 episode 10, but it's your 100th episode, that just makes it weird. So I think we might just do away with all of that and just go straight to episode numbers. And and just, how do y'all feel about that? Like, do y'all, because somebody came out immediately when I brought it up and was like, I like the fact that you do seasons. And
I mean, I can see the benefit to both. Like, I do like the idea of having just episodes, because like when we reach episode 100, it's a big milestone and you can celebrate it. But if it's on a season, you no longer have that number. It's like, oh, well, we're on season 4, but it's the 100th episode of the show all round. It doesn't have the same ring to it. But at the same time, I do like the idea of seasons, and, we have a set number of episodes per season, and the whole theme changes, like the intro changes every season. So there's pros and cons to both. But, at the end of the day, it's ultimately down to what the community prefer, because they're the ones that are watching it.
So, I mean, I guess we'll keep our ear to the ground and just see what people, what feedback we get on it, because next episode is going to be the one where it switches. We're still deciding. Yeah. See, we might have a little bit more, but that's where we get to this next question I want to ask you, Jamie.
Mm-hmm. Here we go. We're a little bit nervous with the tone, but
How do
okay.
you feel about doing this show more often?
Ooh. Okay.
A few people have brought this up and said you should do more shows during a week. And I feel like we lucked out with our spot on Fridays where we kind of mesh with a lot of people's schedules. And so it does help us have more people to speak with. Whereas if we did it every day, I feel like, or if we did it like 3 times a week, I feel like it would be, one episode where we have nobody that we're talking to. There'd be, and God forbid, we try to get a guest for every single one of these multiple episodes.
God.
Like when we talk about how busy we are and like how we don't have time to do solo episodes, a lot of that is because like sometimes we don't have time to really find guests. Like we're working on so much stuff behind the scenes. And then it's like finding guests, then getting it squared away with them, then making sure they can get there, then understanding how to do the show as far as like how we capture the video. So like,
yeah, it's hard as well. Like, just finding someone, explain to them how it all works, the availability, the different time zones, how that reflects whether or not we can all be on camera at the same time, whether or not they want to use a camera, whether or not they're happy to go onto the Spotify. And there's just so much involvement with getting a guest on. Like, there's so much behind the scenes that nobody sees. It's just like, we need logos, we need names, things that you don't want to talk about, things you definitely want to talk about, stuff that you want to make sure you bring up at the end, plugs that you want to bring in. Do you want to mention any links? And have you got any videos that we can use? And then Mighty has to compile all that together and be able to add it into a scene in Twitch. And there's just so much involvement with guests that I don't necessarily think there is. There is so much work that goes into actually pulling off having a guest on the show.
Yeah, and this is all forms back into like let's say I didn't bring back, because I was thinking of bringing back my other podcast, the Audible Brunch podcast, which is one I used to do every day for like an hour around lunchtime every day. And we would just talk about what's in the news, what movies I watched, anything. We would just talk about any and everything. And like, if we were to do this, I can't do that anymore. like that idea goes out the door, because it's just like you got to go back on the back burner because there's so much stuff we're doing now. Guys, nobody reminded me that the logo wasn't there. Bam, there we go. We got the logo there. So,
I do like the idea of doing more episodes. I think though, if we were to do it, it would have to be in a smaller form factor, simply because my schedule is just so busy with life stuff, and I have college, so I have a lot of work that I need to do outside of normal working hours and stuff. So, this is set in stone, so I revolve my life around Friday at 8 p.m. BST to make sure that I'm available. I'm a very calendar strict person. Like, I live by the calendar, and if it isn't in the calendar, it's not happening. So if we were to do more episodes through the week, which I would like to do because I love this show, it's my favorite thing, and I intend to stream more now. I've just finished building my PC, so I intend to do more dream streams anyway, but they're just going to be like as and when I want to do them. I don't really intend to have like a schedule or anything, purely because I'm so busy. But if we were to do more, Made in Dreams podcast stuff, we would have to have a set day and time that we're going to do it like we do now for Fridays, just so that I can plan that in my life. But I think it needs to be bite-sized, purely because of the constraints that I have with time.
What do you mean? What's bite-sized to you?
No longer than an hour.
Okay. See, that brings up something else I wanted to talk about, because I'm thinking of locking down all of the podcasts I do to an hour time limit.
Ooh. You see, I don't know if when you have guests and they're very chatty and they're very passionate about what they're talking about, you can easily burn through 40 minutes before we've even had a chance to ask a question. I don't know if
I know. It's going to be super hard if we do end up doing it. But maybe I'll keep this podcast the same, let it just go as long as it goes, and then we'll, with my other podcasts, maybe they'll just be limited to an hour or so. We'll see. But we'll get back to everybody. Let us know, message us or whatever. Let us know what you think about us doing the show multiple times a week. And
I do like the idea though, and if people want it, I'm more than happy to make room and do that, because I love doing this, and if people want more, who am I to say no to that?
All right. So I also vote for keeping this podcast as it is, unchanged time wise. Oh yeah. Like this like this time and day isn't changing. It would just be adding more, like adding another episode to another day as well. But we'll see, because we'll have to talk out the logistics of this. And MC Alchemist, I did see you, and so we hit you up, baby. We'll hit you up.
What we could do is, and I'm just spitballing here, like we could continue to use the Maiden Dreams podcast on Fridays as a space to have guests on, because people do like coming on the show, and we could use maybe like a Tuesday, just for instance, as a solo time for just you and I to talk about Dreams for 60 minutes. We could do something like that. So we always have the guest once a week, and we always have a solo episode once a week to sort of just you and I just find a topic within Dreams and just dive into it for an hour straight.
Personally, I hope y'all do a Dreamscom special episode going through the show floor on the podcast. See, this is where it gets weird. Because being that it is a podcast and most of our traffic is through audio, one of the main reasons like why we stopped doing the pick of the week type thing is because like when we're showing something, they like audio can't hear that, so it just becomes this weird space.
Yeah,
in like maybe we could do a pre-video where we run through it and we just talk over it, and then we'll play it during the show if we spoke enough. But it's just weird having people in audio trapped listening to less activity and less speaking because of something visually.
Yeah, I agree. I've spoken to some people about the podcast in the past, and a lot of people have told me that they listen to the podcast while they're driving. It's one of the things that they put on while they're on the way to work or on the way back from work, and having that space where we're talking about something that's extremely visual is really off-putting for someone that is listening to it in the car. It just doesn't really match up. So, but I mean, there is ways around it. Like you said, we could talk over the video to try and explain it, but I feel that's just trying to make something out of nothing.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, it'll be something we'll have to look into, and something we'll have to, I guess. Well, we'll have to continue to think about that and see what else can be done, and maybe that's the thing. Like, maybe there'll be just other, like, I don't mind if I'm like streaming and I play someone's game. I don't mind doing that, but it's like it's not a podcast. It's because, like I said, I shut the world out when I'm playing video games. Like, no one can talk to me.
That just becomes a Twitch stream. It's not a podcast at that point.
But yeah, I mean, speaking about Dreamscom, yes, we're going to do it, most definitely.
I mean, we got to cover that. I mean, come on. We talk about Dreams every week. We've got to talk about Dreamscom in full. It's going to happen. Don't worry.
Yeah. So, I think this is... Do you have any more questions?
No, I'm all out of questions. I unfortunately didn't have a lot of time to write some down.
All right. Well, then let's get to the main topic of this podcast. Now that we've gone through... We've walked through memory lane with everybody and, gone over what we have planned for the podcast and its future and the future of everything that we're going to be doing. let's talk Deeno.
Let's.
I know a lot of people are busy with their stuff right now, so just keep us in the back of your mind. We need help.
We do.
Just to be completely forthright, we, the team of Deeno, we need help. We need, and go ahead.
I was just gonna say we don't have the manpower required right now to pull off the production value that we intend to pull off in a time span that I am comfortable with. I think that is the most transparent way I can put it, basically.
Yeah. Like, we need animators. We need level designers to work with Spicy Waffles in chat, because he is a wonderful artist, but it's a huge game. It's a huge game, and it's going to be a lot for one person to really go through. I help out where I can with what I can and with ideas that I have, but yeah, as far as like level design and stuff, he could use the help.
Oh boy.
And
he is drenched in so much, bless him. And he does such a good job. Everything he does is pure gold. You know, whatever he touches, he makes sure he takes the time to make sure it's right, because he knows what I'm like, for one. Like, you know, he knows I'm picky about stuff, and he does an amazing job, but there's just so much to do. This game is so big in regards to what we want to show you and what we want to make and perceive, and there's so much detail that needs to be done. It's just he needs someone to assist him with it. He is brilliant, but one person can only do so much, and I don't want him to burn out.
Yeah. And most importantly, if you're hearing this and you are like, I might be able to help, let me put a stipulation on there. Just one that you can enter in to talking with us, knowing what we're going to be asking for. He's already explained that it's a large project, but we need people who are serious about devoting time to this project. You know, we have dealt with in the past, like, people who are interested in doing it, but not more interested than they are working on 18 other things at the same time. Like, they just can't devote to this project to really help us move this train along. So if you're out there and you're wondering what type of project you should be attached to next and what you should devote your time, and you want to be a part of something that's really, like, we're shooting for the moon with really this thing.
Yeah, there is no holding back when it comes to Deeno.
Yeah, we have plans that go with dreams and beyond dreams for this. So, like, if you want to be a part of that, feel free to hit us up. And you could do it through any either my personal Discord or the Made in Dreams Discord or anything of that nature. But just know, because we always joke on this podcast about the Jammy and his whip. He's just like, get back to work, but he's going to do it. Like, it's like, really, it's like we're trying to push this through to where there's no argument as far as what we've created using dreams. Like,
it will be, providing that we have the manpower to pull off the vision that Mighty and I have for Deeno. And I'm not trying to, like, big up myself or the thing we're trying to create at all, but purely because of the type of person I am and the vision I have for this project, I really do believe that we can set a staple to say, my God, that was made in dreams, and I think we really can blow people's minds. Because, you know, not just because it's ours, but I think we have something extremely special on our hands. And I have plans to the moon and back. I mean, Mighty knows the discussions we've had over Deeno and the plans going forward with everything and the vision of where we want to take things. You know, we're have plans, and these plans will come into effect because I just refuse to allow it not to. It's just too good of a thing for it not to happen. So if you have the passion and you really want to take Dreams to the next level, do get in touch, and I'll go through all the details with you, because it would be great to have other people on, and I think you would really benefit from what we're trying to achieve here.
Yeah. It goes I really wish I could say certain things, but
yeah, so do I.
But we can't. But just know that there's a plan. There's a plan, and
oh wow, my video quality. Yeah, Pixel Tune has mentioned my video quality was really
slowly
bad.
becomes 4K and steals the video quality from James. Just want to mention that. See, I tried to avoid that. I'm not even in the same video format as him. Like, I actually have my webcam being captured, and I gave him the full screen of the other window so that it would just be him. It's just
Twitch.
It's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. Maybe we'll find another way. For season 3. For season 3, we'll find another way.
For season 3.
We'll find another way.
Seasons. We might not.
We don't know. We're waiting
it's
here
in your
for
hands,
everybody.
guys. It's in your hands.
But yeah, like for instance, Pixel Tuner. You trying to join Deeno? I'm asking you straight out.
Yes or
straight
no?
out.
Are you in or you're out?
Because Pixel Tuner is awesome. If y'all haven't paid attention to Pixel Tuner, I'm telling you, check out when he streams, especially when he's streaming Dreams. He's making all types of stuff, and it's high quality, and he's fast. That's in my opinion. In my opinion,
high quality and fast. I need to get that whip out. You got 1 week, get it done, and they're like, back in 3 days. Boom, here you go. It's finished. What's next?
Yeah,
that's what we need.
So just let down know, like Pixel Tuner, you don't have to answer me. I'm just playing, but I want you. I want you on the team, but I'm saying you don't have to answer me right now. Like, you can think about it. But yeah, we want as many people as we can get right now, because we are truly trying to do something, I would say, groundbreaking. Let me think about that for sure. Oh, definitely. I know you're working on, like, you have your Alex remake that you're doing in Dreams. And that's, every time I look at that, just the precision you're doing that with is crazy. But yeah, it's just, we want people who are seriously trying to put out, like, be attached to a big project. Like, they want to go places. I want to say things, but I can't say things.
Yeah, I know. I do too. I really do. But believe me, if you want to take Dreams to the next level and you want to do something that is literally life-changing, and I mean that in the literal sense.
Goddamn.
I can't say much, but if you literally want a life-changing experience with Dreams as the anchor for that, get in touch. I will tell you, after you sign a non-disclosure agreement, I will tell you everything of what we are doing. And I think that anybody who actually listens to what I have to say and genuinely has a passion for Dreams will not be able to turn down. They just wouldn't. It's just too good of a thing. So yeah, get in touch.
We need someone that can help Spicy with that, because Spicy is pretty great with lighting and stuff, but it's just getting everything made that needs to be made. That's literally what it is. We have tons of locations, we have characters, we have animations. I'm focusing on animations right now because I am a little upset. And when I say a little upset, I mean I'm a lot upset, but not at something that's done necessarily, but the fact that before I can step in to do what I do, we need to get things done. But also, Dreamscom is here, and we had hoped to have something really big to show y'all. We have pieces of that thing that we could show y'all, but we can't show y'all what we wanted to.
Yeah, we had big plans for Dreamscom, and unfortunately, we're not going to have anything ready for Dreamscom this year because what we wanted to show you would have been so amazing, and to actually produce anything less than that is just unacceptable in our terms.
Yeah, we just can't. I'd rather wait till next Dreamscom because I'm not going to show you. I'm not going to show you half-ass shit. Like, excuse my language, but that's how I feel about it. Like, because I'm putting my name on it. When I put my name on it, it means something. So it's just I am a little upset that we won't be able to do what was intended for Dreamscom this year. But at least we have the booth. We still have the booth, but I'm trying to get this. I'm trying to get this Deeno thing on the road. I'm trying to get this going because we've had so many things happen throughout the production of this, and like really, it won't die. Let me if that's the tone that you're getting from this,
let's reel
that in. It's not going to die, even if we have to do everything ourselves, and it takes us the full 10-year plan to get.
We will do it.
We will get it done, but I would love to have it. I would love to have it sooner than later.
Yeah,
and so that's kind of where we are right now. We know we need to get more people on this team. So if you're interested, that's where we'll leave it.
That's just all part and parcel of Dreams anyway. This is a first time for all of us when it comes to game development. None of us has done this before. It's all brand new to everybody on Dreams, apart from people that have actually developed games outside of Dreams before. And, it's all part of the learning process. We thought we could easily push this out with the amount of people that we have, and now we realize, it's just not possible. And, it's because
we have a different amount of people than we had when we said that.
We do. Yeah, we have a different amount of people now than we initially did. And again, that's just all part and parcel of Dreams because, it's free work. Yeah. At the end of the day, if I was rich and I had a ton of money to pay all of you and say, okay, money for you, money for you, money for you, get it done, this game would have been out 6 months ago. But unfortunately, we don't have that luxury, and neither does anyone else in Dreams. Everything is done within free time as passion projects, and we're going to run into these issues. That's just part and parcel of game development in general. When you've got millions of pounds worth of budget, you're still going to run into issues. But, the fact that this is free, you're going to run into more issues than others because, people will drop out because
you don't have the natural incentive.
Yeah, but, get in touch and we'll have a look. No contractors allowed, team members only.
I wouldn't say that, but it has to be. I would say if someone were to come in and let's say we needed you to make an ability for a character. Let's say that was the deal.
Yeah, good example.
I'd have no problem if I were to, because I'm doing it right now actually. I'd have no problem giving access to that character to somebody and then working with them hand in hand for the things we need and abilities we need for that character. I got no problem doing that. But
neither do I.
But because of what we're trying to do, the game plan, because of what we're working towards, I don't want that person to be left out. Like that's kind of where it is. Like, and I know some people are like, well, I'd be okay with it. I'm telling you, you don't know the plan. So, I would just feel, it's just kind of weird. I would feel weird. I'd rather have someone who, at least as a contractor, was a contracting part of the team that was literally just part of the team. Like you're part of the team, but we know exactly what it is you're going to be doing before we keep going. It's like, okay, you're in charge of getting this done. You get it done? All right. Yeah, that's everything you needed to do. We could work it that way as well. But I just really, it would be really awesome to get people in now and then to be able to share all the benefits that we're shooting for with them. And so that's why we focus on the team aspect. So, but hey,
I totally see where you're coming from, but I would be happy to say to people like I can't explain everything, but rest assured I can give you a good glimpse of what we're aiming for, and if that's just not for you, and you're not interested in sort of deeping down the rabbit hole to see how far it goes, and you literally just want to just sculpt a couple of things here and there, or whatever, then I feel that's fair. At least we've given them a chance to join the team officially. But if they just want to literally just subcontract out, just to do little pieces, I wouldn't be upset with that. I would, I'm happy to take the help we need, and they'll still be credited for the work they've done. And
Everybody
everything.
is credited, even people that are no longer with us.
Yeah, everybody's getting credited for anything they've touched. Literally anything. The credits is going to be so long in Deeno. It might be the same length as the game at this point, but every single thing that anybody touches will be credited in Dreams, on the credits of Deeno. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm kind of open to the idea of contractors, but I would obviously prefer team members just because of the sheer amount of work that needs to be done. The dedication would be extremely beneficial.
Oh, I use a profile. Can you put something up in text which is a little more specific on what you are looking for, if possible? I would do a hard think on that. Yeah, we'll do it.
Sure.
We had intended to do it a while back, but we decided to hold off until now, to where we could take time on the podcast and just look you guys in the eye and just tell you what we want, what we're looking for.
I feel transparency is very important when it comes to something like this, and that's what we want to give you guys. We want to make you understand where we currently are with the project and what we need, because if you're up for it, there is a ton of work to do. There is so much stuff that needs to be built.
Yeah. And if you know animators, or if you, because I said I'm focused on animators right now. If you know animators that are willing to go hard in the paint, let me know. Let me know. Yeah, we have a Trello.
We do have a Trello, but it's for internal use only, because Deeno is such a sensitive project that we don't want to spoil anything. The story is very deep, and we don't want to ruin that. And by having a public Trello, it would destroy what we're creating. It would just ruin it, and there'd be no point in making it because it's that sensitive.
And guys, when he asked earlier what I've gotten better at, I was going to say just sculpting, and I was actually setting up a page where I was going to spoil like a bunch of stuff for Deeno. I was just going to be like, it's good you brought that up. I love what I've done with this. And I was going to switch to our screen with the big billboard and our little cameras. And I was just going to go through pictures of Deeno of what we've done so far. But I gave up on that idea because I was like, he will literally curse me out and take this whole stream down. Like,
I would DDoS Twitch.
so when he's saying that it's close to the chest and it's like nothing can get out, like that's why we're focusing on, again, like team members, because it's just like we don't want any of this to get out until we can show you and give you proper representation of our vision, of what we are doing and what we're working towards. And man, I hate not being able to talk about shit.
I know, I do too, and I really want to express that. It's not that we're trying to be, we're being secretive and like, unless you're a team member, you can't know it. It's got nothing to do with that. It's purely down to the story, the way that it's written, and the characters in the way they look, and particular elements that need to be built, scenes. Even just like a scene is such a spoiler because of the way that Will and I have wrote this story. And I just don't want to spoil it because I really do believe that this story is so special, and it's so emotional and very moving, and I think it's going to speak to a lot of people, and I don't want to ruin that by just posting a picture and spoiling that once in a lifetime moment in that one-to-one play. That cinematic games is very important to me. They're my favorite games, like God of War, The Last of Us, They're all cinematic experiences, and nothing, like, you could play that game 1,000 times, but nothing will be like the first time you played it, because you didn't know what was happening. And when those big moments come in and you're like, oh wow, okay, this is what it's all been building up to, we could spoil the entire game with just 2 pictures by doing that. And so it's so important that we keep it close to the chest.
We'll be opening it up a bit more when we have most of what we're planning to do.
Yeah, because the more we have, sorry, I cut you off there, but the more content we have, the more animation we get done, the more cutscenes that get finished, the more we can slowly start to reveal. But until we have that, we can't show you anything.
Yeah. So I guess I think that's the episode. Anybody that's interested, let us know. I mean, we'd be happy to have you. We'll definitely put you to work. but we have a project that we truly believe deserves your work. And I think if you really are interested and hit us up about it, when we start to break it down to you, you'll see why.
Yeah,
it may sound super, and I understand this. So anybody listening and be like, these dudes are being hyper pretentious. I get it, but I'm telling you, if we get to the point where we break down what we have planned, you'll understand why. So, what level design involves generally? It would be basically coming up with. Oh, I can't.
Let us come back. What we'll do is we'll make write-ups for each section that needs doing. Like if we say we need level design, we'll make a write-up for what we need in level design. When we say animation, we'll give you a write-up for what we need about animation. And once we've got all that done, I'll rework the website that we currently have. I'll post it all up there, and we'll put links on Twitter so that you've got all the in-depth information you need about what needs to be done in a way we can tell you without basically telling you. We'll leave that with us. We'll get that done, and once it's done, we will mention it on next week's podcast, and we'll get all that information up for you.
Or when the next episode is. I'm still not sure that we're gonna make this switch in a week, but
maybe you're right. Yeah,
but we'll put everything up. It's just really, it's so hard for us to tell you anything without ruining everything. Like it's so hard, and that's why we want people with skin in the game, because we know you'll stay quiet. But that's it's hard. It's like I can tell you that it's cutscene animation. There, I answered one of your questions. It's cutscene animation, and it's super detailed. Like the animation is, we're going in it to try to make it may not be professional quality, as far as like we may not be able to do everything we want to do, and we understand that. But we're going to try to do as much as we can because it's important to the story. And we're not even just talking about this story. We're talking about possibly things that may come after. I'll leave it there.
Leave it there.
I'll leave it there. And there. That's as close as I can get, guys.
To
spoilers, cutscenes in a game. They're telling a story. It's over now.
No! To Proper Slack, who says, so hey person with the Master Sword behind him, Jammy's my name by the way, is there a huge noticeable change between Dreams PS4 and PS5?
In its ability to run only.
Yeah, in its ability to run only, it's definitely faster. Because Dreams is still capped with its thermo limits, its graphics limits, its audio limits. You don't get any extra on Dreams PS5 because it's just a port. So everything is exactly the same apart from the speed of which it runs.
Let's see, this is a story about a girl who cried a river and down her own world. Creation is 1,000 times better on a PS. Really? Do you feel like Creation is better? I feel like it runs the same. It's just running better. Like
just smoother and
zero lag.
I don't.
Yeah.
Zero lag on,
Okay.
Yeah, maybe there is that, but I mean, yeah, there isn't any like defining features of Dreams PS5 because it's still just Dreams PS4. You're just playing it on better hardware.
You can have a million wires on screen and still be 60 frames. Yeah. I see. I never deal with the wires, so I wouldn't know.
But you see, I find that a problem because then that's not like, if you have a million wires on screen, and you have a million wires running in a game, then it's not going to run very well on PS4.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
There is swings and roundabouts with that.
I'm gonna tell you now, Arca. Do you have a PS5 with a disc or without? Because I'm gonna tell you, the PS5 is very quiet until you put a disc in that disc drive, and I swear it's trying to spin that disc so hard that it's like if that disc came out, it would straight up cut your head off. Like
I don't have that issue.
You can't hear it?
To be fair, I've been playing a lot more digital games than I have physical since I got the PS5. But the physical discs that I have played on the PS5, I mean, it's just like 95% less sound than the PS4. My PS4 was just ready to take off and ascend its way to the moon.
No. It doesn't do it constantly. But it's only when it first revs up the CD when you put it in. It's like I mean, it doesn't make that sound, but you can hear, like, you can feel the vibration in the desk I'm on right now. You can feel the vibration in the desk, and it's like if that thing for some reason ejected, it would cut my chest off. Like it would be terrible. It sounds like that thing is death speeds, but. It does it when you first put it in, and then it goes away, and you never hear the disc again. And so I'm like, yo, you loaded everything off that disc. Like you loaded the hell out of that disc, and that was it. You technically have the broken version.
I mean, I wouldn't put it past you, Mike, to have a broken PS5. I mean, you just have the worst luck with consoles, I'm afraid.
Far Cry 6, like disc gun. I've never been a fan of Far Cry. I just never been a fan of it. I don't even.
It looks fun.
I've played them. It's just the idea that I'm on this super kick right now where I'm just like kind of what did Spicy call it? Open world fatigue. I think that's what he called it on the podcast the other day. Was open world fatigue, where it's like I'm kind of getting tired of like big expansive worlds. I want you to have the look of an expansive world, but take me on a singular narrow, like a single player or co-op big budget campaign that's very, what do you call it? It's very linear. I want you to set up and tell me everything. If I run by that building, I want you to know that I'm running by that building and you to show me what you want me to get out of that. Perfect example, Uncharted 2, possibly the greatest action-adventure game of all time on anything. Because that was not only like playing a movie, which y'all know had me just all over it, but then... And one of the cutest videos, and yes, I said cute, one of the cutest videos ever is Harrison Ford playing Uncharted and him just being blown away and him being like, yo, this is the future. He's like him being blown away because you could see in his eyes all the injuries he's taken from being Indiana Jones, and then looking at this thing where it's just like all there, and he's like, I don't have to get hurt. Like it was so adorable. But yeah, like I want you to tell me the story and have me experience the world in the way you see it. And I just think we don't get that enough anymore. Everybody's building all these expansive worlds that you know, and most people don't even do it well. It's what is it? I think Raga, who I do my other podcast with, he was like, yeah, it's a mile wide and an inch deep. Like, that's it. It's just not, you know. It's like, take all those resources that you used making something literally the size of Texas and just give me a town that's super detailed. Isn't that less money? I thought they cared about spending money. Anyway, the point is that's my rant for. I said this episode was over like 15 minutes ago.
Yeah, that really turned into the Unexamined Life podcast segue into the Made in Dreams podcast right there.
Right. But yeah, see, this is we could tell them that though, what we intend to do with the world. Could we? Well, no, we're done now. We're done.
Yeah,
now.
No.
We're gonna be in touch. We're gonna be in touch for all the people who are interested in joining the Deeno team.
Leave it with us.
Yeah, you know, hit us up on the Discord. Hit us up on Twitter at both of our names, Mighty Vicious. That's what I'm under on Twitter as well. You got Jamie James. He's under Lucid Nebula Studios, as well as
it's Jamie James.
Oh yeah, it's Jamie James on Twitch, which he's gonna start streaming more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so this gen will be great for open worlds with meaningful detail. I hope so, because I'm gonna tell you to get back to movies real quick. Okay, I know I keep saying I'm in this episode, but I'm gonna tell y'all. Okay, and I know a lot of y'all might call me a blasphemer for this, but I coined a phrase after watching the Lord of the Rings movies. Now, they're okay. You know, it's all right. But
you're the first person. I'm sorry to stop you mid-sentence, but you're the first person to actually say something that I completely agree with Lord of the Rings, which is they are okay.
Yeah, they're okay. But it's way more, and this is the term, landscape epic than it is epic.
Yeah,
and
totally agree.
And this is, and to correlate it back to what I was just talking about, that's what these open world games have become to me. They're landscape epic, but that's it. There's like, when it comes time to truly be epic and pay me off for running for 45 minutes across your entire landmass, the payoff's not there. And you know when it is paid off, when they have you on not rails, like not literal gaming rails, but when they have you in a direct, like when they're telling you something directly. You go, yes, you're going from here to there. I get it. I know people want to branch out and stare at trees and do whatever. But Lord of the Rings is okay. Now, it's let me try to.
It is. Just, let me try to. Okay.
No. It's the movies themselves. They are okay. What they did with the filmmaking in making those movies is spectacular. Like, the production quality is insane for those movies. But in execution, like, things can be really. I'm not hating on New Zealand. It's beautiful. I wish I lived in New Zealand right now. Like, I want to get the hell out of here. But it's like it's beautiful, but that's where they pushed your attention. It's like, yeah, don't pay attention to this other stuff we're not doing and not doing really as well to make it entertaining. Look at this vista. If you just stare at this vista real quick, and you get the awe of this vista, you're not going to worry about these other things that we're not doing, which are actually good storytelling. Or the relaying of storytelling in film in a way that is actually better. There's ways to do it better. And what I say means nothing, because he made millions of dollars, the movie made billions of dollars, so whatever. But I could still have my opinion. And I'm just telling y'all my opinion. But that's how it correlates to all these games that we have now, that you know, they're landscape wise, oh, they're epic and expansive as hell. As far as what you do in them, nothing. And it's left me really wanting, and this is the topic of the podcast 2 weeks ago. It's left me wanting more of big budget, so like co-op campaigns. Like, think of if you could play Uncharted 2, but you could play Uncharted 2 with a friend. Like, with one friend, not a massive multiplayer. There's 20 people in your server right now. I don't want any of that stuff. I just don't. Sorry. I'm done with that. I just want my friend to be able to play with me through a detailed world and have it so that you cultivate me some experiences. I'd love it. Pixel Tuner, one day we have gaming worlds bigger than our own planet. We already do. Your goal is to go from there to Kepler in a lifetime. Musk the game. Musk the game.
Oh my god.
Look, but anyway, I'll be done with my. I'll leave it there for my rant.
Yeah. Leave it for your second podcast.
Yeah. So, thank you for joining us. I hope you enjoyed everything. Remember, hit us up. Let us know what you think as far as not just Deeno, but what we should be doing or adding to the Made in Dreams podcast.
Definitely.
And, and go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say,
Yo, this has been I hope this doesn't become a thing, because you are interrupting me every other sentence. As a matter of fact, the show is over. We're done. We're out of here. No, I'm just every time I go to make a point, you are in my mouth right now. What is going on?
I'm sorry. It's been a day. All right. No, I was just going to say, make sure that, if you have suggestions for the podcast, to let us know, because your opinions are very valid, and that will determine when the next episode is going to come. Like, if you all start shooting us over messages of what you want, and we can sit there, Will and I, and look through those messages and collect the data and say, okay, well, this is what we're going to do. We'll be up next week. But, if it takes a really long time to get all that information, we might not be airing for a couple of weeks, to make sure that we give everybody time to get their questions in. So if you have an idea that you'd like, get it to us sooner than later, so we can start collecting all that data and get back as soon as possible.
Not to mention all of the background production work I'm about to have to do.
Yes. That too.
So, yeah.
My settings!
Yeah, my settings. I have to reset all my settings to 0 now. But anyway. Thank you for joining us. Love you all. Thank you for all the comments. We are listening to you, and we want to get back to you with more information on multiple things. And if you know somebody that if you have an in with one of these developers, let us know. If you know somebody, let us know, because we'd love to talk to them. Mm-hmm. So let's get at it. Anything else you want to say, Jamie, before the end?
No, I'm done cutting you up for the night. Yes,
and artist Notorious. Go back and watch the rest of the episode. and yes, we'll we're looking for everybody. I'm everybody. Like, I'm trying to expand out to everything and everybody, voice actors, artists, filmmakers, everyone. And I want to bring them into our world and grow the resources of dreams. So, and we already at Sony. Yeah, we talking to Sony. We on them.
Yeah,
we on them. So I'm just saying, we're trying to take this places, and we're trying to bring you with us. So with that, I can finally. This was supposed to end like 25 minutes ago, but yeah. Thank you for coming through. Love you all. Peace out.
See you soon.